to Pubs of Prague, where the pubs are closed and we're still in our living rooms because of COVID-19. But anyway, we're persisting with crapping onto each other. And we've got a little surprise, as you can probably see in the corner on my screen. But he's finished clacking away on the typewriter, bringing you the greatest spy novel from Belgium since Tintin and Red Rackham's Treasure, Tiernan O'Rourke.
Thanks.
Hey, Tiernan.
I've got to the second page at this point.
Brilliant. I can't wait to read it. You're looking very mauvey there.
Well, I'm probably a little more, let's say, visible than the last few weeks.
Yeah, well, we can see your whole face now. That's which is
I suppose half.
Because I wasn't sure whether you were real or not. Well,
yeah, it could have been a ghost, It could have been a figment of your imagination the whole time.
Well, you're haunting my dreams at the moment, I can tell you that.
I hope so. I mean, everyone's sleep patterns are so messed up at the moment. I'd expect something like that might happen.
The world's messed up, Tiernan. The world's messed up. He's come down from the Belfry, from looking over Old Town Square. He's here. He's cool as a cucumber as always. It's Simon. It's Simon Says. Hello, Simon. Hello.
Yeah, the bell tower was like empty. It was perfect.
Good. So your job must be a lot easier now.
Yeah, that's why it should. Well, I hope it stays like this, of course.
Yeah, well, I bet those falcons are keeping people out of Old Town Square.
Yeah.
We've got a guest from somewhere in England. She's been dancing around the maypole and she's been Morris dancing as well. She's from Australia, but she's stuck somewhere in the UK, England, in fact. It's my daughter, Danielle Sophia. Female perspective, because we've all a bit...
I just thought you guys are all getting a little bit deflated throughout the week. Like what? So I thought I'd come spice things up a little bit.
Yeah, we have been stuck in a yoke of mediocrity and tedium, I think. We're outdoor people. That's what we are. We're outdoor people. I'm a woodsman, I'm a woodsman.
So I'm getting paler by the second all this indoor time.
Which means you're almost translucent because you're already so pale.
It may as well be a ghost for this point.
I did a Zoom background yesterday in a call and I was so pale that my face disappeared and was made the background.
And all you could see were glasses, right?
Yeah, it was just like my eyes in this background.
And a mop of hair. Anyway, speaking of that, because really it's obviously a very strange situation. We touched on this last week with Simon and Tim. What lifestyle changes what differences have there been in your lifestyle since this lockdown? Personally, I can tell you that I'm now standing in front of a TV doing exercises with some YouTube channel going, which I think is pretty important. It's been good actually, but I didn't picture myself doing it. Plus, I'm now on 2 meals a day, not a week, a day. 2 meals a day because I found myself chubbing up slightly.
You've been putting on weight then?
Yeah, I have been. I was putting on a bit of it, not a lot, but you could see that I was not doing anything, not eating much and still putting on weight. I just don't think we need 3 meals a day now. You probably don't eat it anyway. Where does that fallacy come from?
Wow.
You must have. Eat like a king in the morning, a prince in the afternoon and a pauper at night.
Because you're burning it all off during the course of the day.
Exactly. It's amazing how much incidental exercise we do, climbing upstairs in a metro, in the office, just walking around from desk to desk or whatever, if you work in an office. But I work in a foundry, of course, and there's a lot of work. I mean, I sweat it off.
I think that's the same for me. The biggest change has been that I make a conscious effort to exercise. Like I'll do, like a workout or I'll go for a run, which I never used to do before. I used to just kind of because of work, I was fit anyway. I'm not fit, but keeping trim.
You weren't a sloth anyway.
Yeah, but now it's very different. I need to make time in my day to actually work out, which is weird.
She says as she swigs another stubby of beer.
Me VB. But also I cook more though. I think I have a better diet, honestly. I think I have more time to cook good meals.
I reckon that's going to be one of the big changes coming out of all this, that people will go into the kitchen more and prepare more traditional meals. I think that will come out of it. I don't know. What about controlling the consumption of alcohol? Well, mate, us three blokes, we love our pubs and our beer.
I think
Cheers, by the way. Cheers.
That's not a beer. Am I the only one with a beer in a Pubs of Prague video?
Yes.
Well, I just drank my beer. Actually, before this, we had a family quiz session, and I drank more beer there. It went on a bit too long. So now I'm on the gin and tonics.
Nice.
But I will say this. I've decided, here's another lifestyle change. I'm only going to drink on Saturdays.
Oh, really?
Maybe
on Sunday.
We've got any frequent or any future engagements on Friday. We cannot invite you to then.
Yeah.
You can invite me, but it doesn't mean I'll drink. I just think
you'll
you've got to draw a line.
You'll be on the Birel.
Well.
Or the strong coffee.
I'll have a very strong coffee, yeah. But what about you, Tiernan? Are you drinking a bit more, or I mean?
No, I'm drinking less.
Really?
I have no incentive to drink.
Because you're social, man. You've got to drink with people.
Yeah, I mean, I do like once in a while to have a very nice beer alone, especially if I'm watching sports. But of course, that's also not happening at the moment. I don't know. It doesn't seem right to watch a film, for example, with a beer. So I'm actually drinking a lot less, which maybe is good. Maybe it's making me more healthy. I don't know.
Yeah. I think it will reveal a lot about ourselves, how prone we are to it. It's a fine line, I reckon, between really enjoying a drink of alcohol and all of a sudden going over that line and becoming an alcoholic. I mean, sometimes I always say this to people I know: can you go a day or two without drinking? If you're used to coming home and having a beer every night, and then you realise, shit, I've had a beer or two every night I've come home from work. Can I stop? Can I tomorrow night or the next week or whatever, just give a time frame, maybe start small with one day. Can I come home tomorrow night and not have any beer? And if the answer is, I'm really struggling, then time to have a think.
That's a real issue. That there's a lot of articles going around at the moment, especially in Australian media, that there's like really big concerns experts have about people turning to alcohol to cope with the isolation, and what are the long-term effects of that, whether it be like domestic violence or even just like alcoholism.
Well, domestic violence, of course, even without alcoholism, is obviously a major issue. But
well, we have the issue now, of course, that people are locked up with their significant other, and this may be a situation that doesn't exactly facilitate the relationship working.
Especially with the added stress if you've like lost a job or something.
Yep.
Well, of course.
Yeah, you may have had a great relationship beforehand and it's turned sour.
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest, some relationships need space to work. You cannot be with your partner 24/7 because they'll drive you insane. So this is actually a test for those who are single. Maybe it's worse in a way, but even for those in relationships, it's actually quite difficult at the moment, because you're with that person constantly and you don't have so many opportunities to take a break from the person.
You've got to have space. And imagine if you're in a small, what do they call them? Those one bedroom things.
Studios.
A studio apartment. Yeah, God almighty. And if you're with someone else, you've got nowhere to go just to be on your own to, defragment the brain.
Yeah, even the love of your life, you would have to do something we cannot say on camera. Yeah,
the love of your life could become the bane of your existence. The bane Marie of your existence.
Well, you would know more than us, Dad, because you're actually in isolation with your partner. We're all sitting here alone.
Yeah, and you know what? We definitely have times where we just separate. We know that. We need that. I think your mother needs it more than I
I
do.
can't believe I just called my
But
mum
I'm
your
a pain in the ass. You blokes know that.
Yeah, straight. I mean, I haven't
Oh,
spoken
thanks,
to
Tina. You agree, do you?
well, yes and no. No, I was going to say I haven't spoken to a person, a real life person, for 6 weeks now, I think.
Well, what about when you went down to the Little or the...
Oh, that doesn't count.
Albert?
That's saying hello and thank you.
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
I find that
Get
they
into
don't
grasp
talk
it.
to you though.
Sorry?
They don't talk to you. Like because I'm isolated, I always have a chat at the checkout, but now no one wants to talk. And it's actually really sad because I need someone to talk to me.
Could
Well,
be
you
another
live
issue
in
that...
Southern England, in fairness, that's probably kind of quite prevalent.
Yeah, I'm definitely that customer that's annoying because she won't go away because she's having a gas bag. But,
I got a feeling, though, that you weren't like that before all this started.
no, I wasn't. And more so, even though with getting packages delivered, I'll be, oh, thank you, sir. And they'll be like, it's just there, bye. And they run away.
Wait, what's your firstborn's name?
Yeah. They're like, wait, tell me more about you. What's your story?
What are your dreams and aspirations? What's going on? Your hair, it's a mess, man.
What can I do? I can just embrace it. I can pull it out, or I can buy a clipper thing. But I'll just leave it like this, unfortunately. So
The shops aren't open yet to buy a clipper, so you could order it online.
In another 6 weeks, it will be about this.
Yeah, you'll have an afro. Oh my God, 6 weeks. We'll be out by then, surely. We'll be in some garden in Letna having a pint.
Yeah, they're opening
May 25th, John.
I'm looking forward to it, Tannen. Looking forward to it. Chin chin.
Cheers, well, I have my mug here. So.
It's easier to drink a bit less because when the weather's nice, I definitely drink a lot more, especially this summer.
Yep.
So
the weather makes a big difference.
But I wouldn't cut it out completely. No way.
Of course not. What are you? You're alive, man. You're going to live. We're going to live. Tannen, what's happening with the restrictions in the Czech Republic?
Well, this week, John, the government has set out 5 dates by which things will start to progressively open up once more, which I'm sure everyone agrees is very positive news.
Sounds promising.
The first one will happen this week, I think, or I think
Monday, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's on Monday.
It is Saturday the 18th now of April 2020.
Yeah. So on Monday, I think the farmers' markets will open. Some shops, I think weddings up to 10 people will be permitted.
Hardware shops?
Sorry?
Is it hardware shops as well?
I'm not sure exactly about the particular type of shops. I think it may be tradesmen, yes, so you're probably correct. Then I think after, it's a week later, it's April 27th, there are other shops going to be open, or bigger ones. Then I think the next one is gyms, if I'm not mistaken. So anyone who likes to work out will be counting down those days.
Absolutely.
And then for our purposes, May the 25th is the most important one, because on that day, and I should add here that I should have said it at the start, but the government has said that each step can only each step can only take place if the previous step has been a success, which means I think there were less than 400 new cases per day as a result of the putting into action the step. So May the 25th is what we're very much looking forward to, because on that day, if everything goes to plan, then the restaurants will be allowed to open their outdoor facilities to the general public. Not the indoor, of course, so it will be not just hoping that it happens, for one, but also that the weather is, let's say, very, very pleasant, very nice. So everyone can sit outside and after a long, long time, eventually go with their mates, go with their friends, go with their colleagues and have 1 or 2 beers once more.
Tiernan, it sounds like good news. Thank you very much. You've lifted my spirit.
Well, and then the final is June the 8th, where again, hopefully, if everything has gone to plan, all areas of restaurant should open.
There, that'll be it. Just in time for summer. We're already a week into summer by then.
Fingers crossed. I think this is only for the Czech Republic, of course. Like as mentioned in previous weeks, many other countries are not as successful as things have gone.
Yeah, sorry, Danielle. You can't help living in England, huh? Simon left.
What a mess. What a mess.
I left as well.
Yeah, Tiernan left. What a joke of a place. Anyway, yeah, that's great, Tiernan. Good news, actually. That's promising. Prick of the week. Oh, you don't clap that. Gee, sorry, Simon. Who's the prick of the week?
Well, he gets prick of the week this week, but it's basically his or his company's behavior over this whole period. So it's everybody's favorite billionaire, Jeff Bezos.
Again? We gave it to him before. All right, Jeff Bezos. He deserves it, actually.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Yeah, but we around a little bit, don't we?
Yeah, he gets it again because it's fine to make money during the quarantine. You know, he's running a business, so apparently his net worth has gone up by several billion. But it's just that since the beginning now of the pandemic, they've fired 5 people, and 2 of them because they tried to organize internally like a discussion, which Amazon then completely deleted, and then they were completely vocal on the American news channels. And Amazon said you're allowed to criticize the company's policies, but that doesn't mean you're not gonna follow their like internal guidelines, which basically means you're out. So it's just the fact that there was, there's like lack. I think still they don't look after the employees well enough during this whole crisis, and they just treat it like complete shit. And nothing's basically changed since the time you gave him prick of the week. So
yeah, he's an asshole. I mean, he's a greedy man. I mean, I admire his entrepreneurial spirit in building. That's what America's great for, isn't it? He's built this mammoth industry, but treat your workers well. He can pay for it himself. He can lose $1 little billion and these people will live like princes. This is a problem with America anyway, in that the living wage, the basic wage, has not changed since the late 80s. It's $7.50. This is the minimum wage in America. Whereas, what's it now in Australia, Danielle? It's $30 or $25 or something?
I think for just like a regular job in a cafe, it's about 25 Australian dollars.
Yeah, which is just kept up with the cost of living. And so people can have a basic job and still buy a house. Well, in the outer suburbs of the major cities, because that's a problem too. But yep, I agree. Jeff Bezos, you're a cunt. So I was watching this video on YouTube, and there's some guy who's got hasn't got much to do, but he used grains of rice to project to show how much wealth that Jeff Bezos has. The last time I checked, and Simon's just said that it's actually gone up, but when we did that video a couple of weeks ago, he had a net worth of $117 billion. I think it's now $121 billion. So in 2 weeks, he's made just a ton of money. A ton is not even the right way to measure it. But this guy, he actually, and we'll get the link and we'll maybe play it now, is that he 1 grain of rice, 1 little grain of rice was $100,000. $100,000 US dollars. And he put that down on a bit of paper. He got 10 of them, and obviously that's $1 million. So there was 10 little grains of rice. And then he got Bezos's 117 billion, and it was just this huge mass, this great big pile of rice. And this guy took out a little pinch of it, and he bought a mansion, with that little pinch of money. So from that little pinch, it was a great indication of just how disgustingly rich this man is, of pulling this, putting just a lot of money for the layman, but but nothing for Bezos, and just giving it to his workers and giving them the life they deserve. And guess what, Jeff? They'll make a lot of money and they'll buy more of your shit. And they'll contribute to other businesses as well. Simon, is there anything going on in the beer world?
No, not really.
What do you mean, Simon?
I mean, what you could do is you could buy a home brewing kit and try out yourself, and then maybe that could become a news story. But I haven't read anything recently interesting.
What about that website that was that started up?
Oh, you mean Zakran Pivo?
Yeah, well, that's changed. Zakran Pivo is now Zakran Hospoda.
Aha. But I don't know how it's working. What you can buy vouchers for the pubs or something to spend after the.
Yeah.
quarantine.
So previously we've had Zakran Pivo, which is Save Beer, which is to go and buy beer from the pubs, but they bring it to your house and deliver it. It's now morphed into, instead of saving beer, because all these breweries had all this beer that was just going to waste, it's now morphed into this website, and here's the link, to save a pub. So it's now, you buy vouchers now, and then when the pub does open, you can go into the pub, you get 500 crowns, 1,000 crowns, whatever. You can then use those vouchers and go into the pub and obviously claim the beer back. It just gives them some cash flow now before it actually opens up. So
It's good.
it is good. I'm going to... I've got a Vaclav Havel of the Week award.
Excellent.
And you must have heard of this guy at the moment. If he doesn't get knighted out of this, I'll go he. It's Captain Tom Moore. Captain Tom Moore.
I heard of this story.
Yeah, you heard of him, Danielle? Because he's from your part of the world where you are now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the good captain, he's a World War II veteran. He's 100 years old. He's been doing laps with his little Zimmer frame, whatever you call them. And all he wanted to do originally was raise 1,000 pounds. And when I checked this morning, he was on over 20 million pounds. Just going, and the way he was going to raise money was just doing 100 laps of his yard with his Zimmer frame. And for a 100-year-old man,
He's raising money for the NHS, is what he's doing.
Exactly. He's raising money for the NHS, not to feather his own nest.
Yeah.
Good point. And so he's raised over 20 million pounds, which is incredible. I think he fought in Burma and India during World War II. And when he was doing it, of course, his old regiment, or guys from his old regiment, current day soldiers, were there keeping the social distance and supporting him while he was doing it. Bloody great. And let me just say, Tom Moore, you are a freaking legend. You already were, actually, because you're from the great generation, but you just don't know when to give up. And I salute you. I've got a few. Apparently, pot sales are up.
Plan.
Really?
Or is
You
it
know
always
this, Simon, of course. You'd be well aware that this is happening, Simon.
I make my own.
I thought you meant pots like plants.
Oh,
Yeah, I also had an impression.
Sorry.
Ask which pot do you mean?
Yeah,
So-
that's a very old-fashioned term. I mean, marijuana.
Oh, I was agreeing.
Are you going to retract your answer there, Simon? It's an old term, pot.
I was agreeing because I thought, yeah, a lot of people are propagating like house plants at the moment.
I thought you
Well,
meant
these
cooking
plants-
pots. So I make my own cooking pots from like pottery, you know.
Oh, do you? Do you really?
No.
What can I say?
Bloody millennials don't understand it.
Bloody millennials. They don't even know how to make a good cooking pot. A good crock pot. Puzzle sales are up too.
Yeah.
And why is that?
I don't know.
Because you need to keep your family
I think
entertained at home, not just in front of the TV, I guess.
I've completed 3 jigsaw puzzles in my time in isolation.
There's a massive one of the London Underground. You should try that one, like a huge one.
I get like hyper fixated on a jigsaw. I can't leave it till it's done. So like I'll sit there for hours until it's done. I can't leave it. I can't walk away. It's got to be done in one sitting.
Wow, it's too much.
That's terrible. It must be a real horrible addiction.
Yeah, right. It's like it isn't good. Just can't.
Could
You
be a
got
support
like
group
that.
pop up one of these days.
Mm,
Well,
Online now, for obvious reasons.
mm.
yeah. It's either making puzzles or smoking outlandish amounts of pot. What do you call it nowadays? What do the kids call it nowadays, Danielle?
I don't know. A jazz cigarette.
A what?
A jazz cigarette.
I never realised that actually, that pot is probably not the preferred term anymore.
Well, obviously, because 2 of us had no idea what you meant.
I thought that was well known though, you know.
Well, you said pot sales have gone up. I was like, oh yeah, people are planting. Simon was like, yeah, people are cooking.
No, I assume plant pots.
Yeah,
I guess all our brains are
Peter
completely,
remained stoic, so he
all our
showed
brains completely messed up because of this crisis. So we're thinking about things illogically, or they're not even.
about wholesome things.
apparently there's a village, there's islands in Indonesia, because the Indonesians are having trouble controlling the lockdown. And I think it's on Java, where they're actually dressing people up as ghosts to go out and scare people back into their houses.
I saw that. I think that would be a fun job to have. And what a way to get out of the house, to make use of your daily government mandated exercise.
What would be the criteria to actually get the job as a ghost?
Are you spooky? Yes or no?
Have you got a hideous looking face? Do you look good in...
Do you look like a white sheet?
Yeah, are they just going old school with the white sheet, or they're being like creative with it, like something like It, the clown?
Yes, something different, rather than just a sheet over your head. Where does that come from? It's got to be Casper. I mean, surely a ghost is just a deathly looking humanoid figure.
Oh, I mean, could you have like the ghost of a cat?
Well, then it would look like a ghostly cat. It would look like a cat, but slightly,
Ghost-like.
ghost-like. I see the I don't see it all actually, but I hear that the Himalayas are visible again from New Delhi, Simon. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard that. But they also have a problem up there with rubbish, so maybe that also reduced.
Ah, fuck, you can't win. So what's the problem with the rubbish? As in they're all sitting at home?
No, it's all these witch Westerners that go up there to climb, right? And they leave like loads and loads of rubbish. But I suppose that would be now better now, because those idiot Westerners are not climbing up there to drop off their rubbish. But of course, the other thing with the Himalayas is, especially Everest and K2, which is, I think, the second highest mountain, Simon, if you remember a quiz we once done. and I think it's not only littered with rubbish, it's littered with dead bodies, because people die there and you don't bring them down. Yeah.
And they looked very ghost-like, unlike the Java Islands before. I mean, they just, because they're frozen, they don't look all that much different to when the day they died. Obviously, you're a bit more paler or yellower or something. Terrific.
Well, that's the fun fact of the day.
Thank you, sir. Simon, does it mean we're going to have to do this again next week? Or bloody hell?
This is a new mini-series, John. You just haven't accepted it yet.
No, I haven't. I just want to go back to the bloody pubs and just talk about pubs for about 7 or 8 minutes in a video. That's all.
Well, John, you have a date now. You can take out
Yeah,
your
you've got a date
doctor
to
and
look
you can
forward to.
cross days off until. So
It's
You can
giving
make
me
it
hope.
this is something we didn't have last week. If you think about it,
Progress. It's progress.
it is progress. Yes. So like, at least now we have about what is that until May 25th?
6
A month.
weeks.
5 or 6 weeks,
Oh,
yeah,
six,
something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, well,
I think
about
I think
5.5
I think
weeks.
that
Yeah, 5.5 weeks. So, where do you think the first episode will be? Should we go to that beer garden that you mentioned, Simon, Mariano or Marina or whatever it is? Or...
Well, I don't know if that will be open. It should be, since it's the outside area.
Although
But
there's
if
a whole brewery in there, so it probably won't do it justice. You'd have to wait till it's open because
I'll
And-
live vicariously through it because I don't know when I'll ever be in a pub again.
I'm sure you
Letna.
won't be far behind us.
probably 2025.
I'll probably, honestly, if they open the borders, I'm gonna ride this out in Prague. I can't do it.
Yeah, fly over. Well, I think we might wrap it up there, folks. That was quick actually. So
How long have we been speaking for now?
an hour.
An hour. Wow.
Yeah, it's gone quick. So if you like living rooms of Prague or you like pubs of Prague, don't watch this current series. But eventually we're going to go back to the pubs of Prague. But if you like listening to people crap on in living rooms of Prague, hit the subscribe button. But for now, I think that's enough for us because I'm tired. I was exercising this morning and I'm just tired. I just need to snooze. So you can go back to the Belfry or tennis and go back to the computer, Tiernan, and you go back to the maypole, Danielle.
The maypole.
What? Oh, Jesus. Do a bit of Morris dancing. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.